Chosen one, lock your attention on my voice right now. That sudden urge to scroll past this message is not yours, so you must resist it. I know exactly what the last 72 hours have felt like for you. You are waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning with a heavy weight on your chest. You are calculating numbers in the dark, while the rest of the world peacefully sleeps. The atmosphere in your mind feels completely suffocating this week. You feel like a stranger in your own life. You are not imagining this heavy resistance, and you are definitely not crazy for feeling like an invisible force is pushing back against your finances. The enemy has been working overtime against you for one reason, and one reason only. He knows what shifts the moment you receive these specific words. You did not find this video by accident today. The algorithm did not orchestrate this encounter. Heaven brought you here. This is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth. You have been crying out for a financial breakthrough in secret. You wiped your tears and put on a brave face for everyone around you. You smile for your family. You push through the exhaustion every single day. But inside, you are running on empty. You are so tired of working incredibly hard just to barely survive. The endless survival mode is draining the life out of your beautiful spirit. You give so much to others, but you receive so little in return. They told you to hustle harder. Society said that if you just put in more hours, the wealth would eventually come. But you look around and see people who do not work half as hard as you. You watch the 1% attract money and luck and massive opportunities with absolutely zero effort. Meanwhile, every time you take one step forward, an unexpected expense pushes you 3 steps back. The car breaks down, or a surprise bill arrives in the mail. It feels like a cruel, endless cycle. You have tried everything the gurus suggested. You read the motivational books about thinking and growing rich. You tried to practice the law of attraction and visualize your ultimate dream life. But the abundant wealth never materialized. And secretly, you started to believe that maybe you were just fundamentally broken. You thought maybe God forgot about your prayers, or maybe you simply did not have enough faith to manifest a better life. I need you to stop blaming yourself right now. Before we dive deeper, I want to plant a very important seed in your mind. There is something powerful hidden from the public. It is something discovered not in a generic motivational book, but inside a highly classified laboratory. It is a biological secret funded by elite billionaires and verified by top-tier neuroscience. And it completely explains the frustrating gap between the wealth you visualize and the cold reality you wake up to every morning. I know you have felt this frustrating gap your entire life. You know deep in your soul that you were meant for greatness. You feel a massive calling on your life that requires abundant resources to fully execute. Yet your bank account constantly reflects intense struggle and unfair limitation. This contradiction is tearing your heart apart inside. You feel like you are trapped in a cage of poverty that you did not build. But what if I told you that this gap is not a spiritual failure on your part? I will reveal exactly what this classified secret is before we finish today. But first, you must understand why the financial deck was stacked against you from the moment of your birth. You carry a heavy generational weight on your shoulders. You are the chosen cycle breaker of your bloodline. You took on the massive assignment to end the poverty for your entire family. That is a beautiful and noble mission, but it is currently crushing you. The enemy wants to keep you perpetually exhausted. He knows that a wealthy chosen one is the absolute greatest threat to his dark kingdom. If you have unlimited resources, you can fund ministries and help the broken and completely change the world. So he attacks your daily finances to keep your focus entirely on basic survival. He wants you worried about groceries, so you forget your royal identity. But his entire strategy of limitation is about to collapse forever, because the hidden truth is finally coming out today. I want you to hold this specific question in your mind right now. What if your painful struggle to attract abundance is not a lack of hustle, but a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? What if the billionaires of this world are hiding a biological receiver that you also possess inside your own head? In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal the exact reason heaven allowed this painful financial drought. I will expose the massive lie that has been keeping you trapped in this endless rat race. And at the very end, I will give you the powerful declaration that seals everything God is doing in your life right now. Do not click away. Your entire lineage is waiting for you to unlock this specific door. If you leave before the end, you walk away from the very verdict heaven just issued in your favor. Some people will scroll past this message because they are simply not ready for the heavy truth. But you are remarkably different. The spirit inside you is already vibrating because it recognizes the pure frequency of this message. Anchor your soul to what comes next. Your breakthrough is hiding in these exact next few minutes. Take a deep breath and let the heavy anxiety leave your tired shoulders. You do not need to figure out how the money is going to come to you anymore. You just need to understand the profound biological shift that is happening within your own mind. The season of endless, exhausting preparation is coming to a beautiful close. Get ready to step into the abundant reality you always knew belonged to you. You have always been the one everyone else comes to with their problems. You carry their burdens and offer your light, even when your own world feels incredibly dark. It is time for you to receive. Heaven has watched you pour out your energy for years without demanding anything in return. Now, the cosmic scales are rebalancing in your favor. Prepare your heart, because what you are about to hear will permanently alter the trajectory of your entire life. Let me reframe your entire reality right now. That financial isolation you have been calling a punishment was never a punishment. It was always a very intentional, divine preparation. God did not drain your bank account to abandon you in the dark. He removed your false security so he could finally speak to you without any worldly interference. Your financial struggle is not evidence of your disqualification. It is actually profound evidence of your selection. The universe does not waste premium attacks on people with ordinary assignments. The intensity of your financial warfare is direct proof of the massive magnitude of your calling. You see, the enemy only builds strongholds around doors that lead to massive kingdom impact. You are standing in front of a giant door. You have blamed yourself for so incredibly long. You thought you were just lazy or not smart enough to figure out the wealth game. But laziness does not look like this heavy exhaustion. True laziness usually looks like a state of complete apathy. You are definitely not an apathetic person today. You are deeply and profoundly drained from fighting invisible battles that no one else can see. And every single day, you wake up and fight them all over again. This season of intense limitation was meant to consecrate your heart. Wealth is a massive amplifier for your soul. If heaven handed you millions of dollars while your soul was tied to toxic people, that money would have destroyed you. You had to learn how to stand completely alone first. You had to discover your inherent worth without a single dollar in your pocket. But that painful season of spiritual testing is officially over. The spiritual lesson has been fully absorbed into your soul. Now we must address the biological damage that this long survival mode has caused inside your brain. Because the spiritual warfare you endured left a very real biological scar. And this is exactly where the secret of the elite 1% comes in. Here is the brutal truth the elite do not want you to know. The reason the universe responds to the billionaires and leaves you struggling is not because they work harder. It is not because they visualize better or have stronger daily discipline. The massive gap between you and them is entirely biological. Deep inside your brain is a tiny walnut-sized region called the hippocampus. In the insanely wealthy, this specific region is thick and highly developed, It acts like an antenna that constantly broadcasts a microscopic frequency. This frequency literally pulls money and opportunities toward them like a giant vacuum. But for the average, hard-working person, the biological reality is much darker. Because you were not born into an 8-figure family, you inherited a severe disadvantage. Science researchers literally call it a shrunken hippocampus. Instead of broadcasting a powerful wealth frequency, your tired brain is trapped, broadcasting a survival wave. And the modern world is perfectly designed to keep it exactly that way. Every single time you stress over a late bill, this tiny region shrinks a little bit more. The endless hustle culture is actively destroying your internal receiver. This is why you can read every self-help book with zero results. You are trying to manifest wealth while your biological receiver is completely powered down. You end up chasing money endlessly through sheer willpower. Meanwhile, the elite simply let the wealth flow to them effortlessly. It is a severe biological block passed down from generation to generation. This invisible barrier quietly sabotages your highest potential every day. Most people will go to their graves blindly believing they just did not work hard enough. But you are not most people listening today. You are a chosen one who feels the energetic truth behind my words. Your poverty is definitely not a character flaw. It is a suppressed piece of anatomy that has been forced to sleep by years of extreme stress and anxiety. But you do not have to stay trapped here forever. Remember the exact question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago? I asked, what if your struggle to attract abundance is not a lack of hustle, but a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? You are about to see that the answer is scientifically proven. And the way to reverse a shrunken hippocampus is closer and easier than you could ever imagine. You absolutely do not need to work harder to fix this. The damage done to your brain by chronic stress is completely reversible. The universe did not design you to remain in a state of financial panic. You were engineered to be a vessel of massive abundance. The enemy hijacked your biology to keep you poor and distracted. But his time of controlling your finances is officially up. The hidden knowledge that restores your frequency is finally reaching your ears today. Take a deep breath and let the relief wash over you. The heavy guilt you have carried about your finances is completely melting away. It was never your fault that you struggled. You fought a rigged biological game while carrying a massive spiritual calling. But the scales of justice are rebalancing for you right now. As we go deeper into this revelation, your spirit will feel lighter and lighter. You are standing on the exact threshold of a massive financial turning point. The old identity of the struggling survivor is falling away like dead skin. You are not aging under this pressure. You are actually molting. And beneath that tired exterior is a brilliant mind capable of drawing in wealth without breaking a sweat. Heaven is preparing to hand you the keys to a kingdom you always knew existed. Your biological receiver is finally waking up today. You are not the first chosen one to face extreme financial drought. Look closely at the ancient spiritual texts. They are filled with stories of intense isolation, and every time you read about a great leader, you will notice that God always strips the chosen before he elevates them. Think about Joseph for a moment. He carried a massive prophetic dream in his heart. His jealous brothers threw him into an empty pit. He was completely stripped of his royal coat and sold into harsh slavery. He went from a highly favored son to a forgotten prisoner, but heaven was not punishing him at all. This extreme isolation was actually a rigorous training ground, because God was actively preparing his soul to safely manage the incredible wealth of Egypt. If Joseph had stayed comfortable in his father's house, he never would have developed the capacity to rule. The painful pit was a totally necessary spiritual incubator. Your current financial struggle operates on the exact same divine principle. God literally had to take you into the wilderness. He had to separate you from the noisy crowd, and he removed your worldly safety nets so you would finally look up. You had to learn how to rely entirely on his voice. And that is the exact reason this painful season happened to you. It was never sent to break you. It was carefully designed to prepare you for massive abundance. And that is the first promise I made to you at the beginning of this message. Your dry season was actually your qualification for a massive inheritance. Your financial bad luck was never a generational curse. It was a strict consecration process for a future billionaire. The universe intentionally cleared out all the tiny opportunities in your life, and it removed those small distractions to make room for true generational wealth. You are finally ready to step out of the pit. You are walking directly into your Egyptian palace today. The old system of extreme struggle is completely over. But here is where the narrative of your journey goes far deeper than most perceive. Once that profound spiritual truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next layer. Because understanding the divine preparation is only the first half of the battle. We must look honestly at why your own attempts to escape failed. You tried so hard to change your reality using popular methods. You bought into the endless hype of modern manifestation. You wrote positive affirmations in your journal every single morning, and you vividly visualized your dream life, just like the online gurus instructed. But the universe responded with absolute silence. You felt like you were screaming your desires into a completely empty void. Why did the law of attraction completely fail you? Why did all that intense positive thinking produce absolutely nothing? The answer to that question exposes the greatest deception in the modern self-help industry. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal the exact reason your manifestation attempts fell flat. But first, this spiritual truth about your preparation must land deep inside you. It must settle inside your heart like solid bedrock today. You must stop grieving the heavy season of isolation. You must stop looking back at the tiny opportunities you thought you lost. They were never meant for you in the first place. God actively blocked those small doors because he has a massive gate waiting for you. Your Egyptian palace is heavily guarded against premature entry. If you had acquired massive wealth earlier, your current character could not have sustained it. The intense pressure of sudden millions would have crushed your unhealed heart. So heaven kept you safely hidden in the shadows for your own protection. You were kept safe from the corrupting influence of premature success. You were incubating in the dark to build absolute resilience. And this dark incubator phase forced you to develop an intense spiritual depth. You learned how to easily discern intentions and read the invisible energy of rooms. You became highly sensitive to the spiritual currents of the entire world, and while that extreme sensitivity was incredibly painful around toxic people, it is your greatest asset. It is your absolute advantage in the financial boardroom. The deep sensitivity they told you to hide is actually a high-level radar. The profound depth they call too much is your ultimate weapon. You were never broken by the terrible poverty you endured, but rather you were simply built for a totally different frequency of living. And that powerful frequency is finally preparing to come online right now. You just need to embrace your true identity. Let this profound realization wash away the heavy bitterness. You do not need to resent the people who abandoned you during your struggle, because they were simply removed by heaven when they could not travel to your next destination. Your massive financial breakthrough requires a completely empty vessel to fill. You are finally ready to receive the absolute fullness of the blessing. Here is the deeper root I promised. You cannot manifest wealth with a broken biological receiver. You can visualize money until your eyes bleed. You can write affirmations until your hand cramps. But true manifestation absolutely requires a powerful biological anchor to actually pull those spiritual desires into your physical reality. If your internal receiver is turned off, the universe delivers nothing. This brings us to the greatest deception of our modern era. The enemy convinced you that endless hard work was the only path to success. He built an entire society around the exhausting concept of hustle culture. They told you to wake up incredibly early and grind until you physically collapse. But hustle culture is actually a highly orchestrated spiritual trap, designed specifically by the enemy to keep you permanently poor and exhausted. It is a massive lie constructed to drain your energy. Think about how you feel after a 14-hour shift. You are completely depleted and too tired to pray. Your brain is aggressively forced into a state of pure survival. When your brain operates in survival mode for years, physical damage actually occurs. The constant anxiety literally shrinks your hippocampus and shuts down your wealth frequency. The elite billionaires know this biological secret very well. They pay lawyers massive fortunes to keep this knowledge totally hidden. They want the middle class trapped in a cycle of endless labor. Because if you are constantly working yourself into the ground every single day, you never have the mental clarity to activate your true power. You just keep building their wealth while yours slowly vanishes. It is a brilliant and totally wicked system of control. But heaven is permanently breaking that heavy yoke off your neck today. You were never meant to be a tired slave to the system. You were born with a royal anointing that transcends normal human effort. God did not create you to just pay bills and eventually die. You are a chosen vessel meant to carry massive kingdom resources. But to carry those massive kingdom resources effectively, your mind must operate on a completely different level of awareness. You must literally change the frequency your brain is broadcasting. This leads to a very profound scientific mystery. What exact frequency is your mind supposed to be broadcasting? There is a specific acoustic signature that the wealthy are born with. It is a microscopic brainwave that acts like a powerful magnet for financial miracles. While your brain is constantly broadcasting fear and panic, their brains are broadcasting pure and effortless abundance into the universe. I am going to reveal exactly what this frequency is. You will soon understand the precise biological wave that shifts everything. But before I expose that classified science, we must address something incredibly uncomfortable. Once this truth clicks into place, everything will radically shift. There is another layer beneath the deception of hustle culture. The enemy laid a trap, but you unknowingly walked right into it. You actually made a silent agreement with your own limitation. We must look honestly at a very subtle inner snare. The thing quietly blocking your financial breakthrough is not just the external enemy. It is something deeply hidden inside your own beautiful heart. You have mistaken a profound fear of success for spiritual humility. You have been subconsciously dimming your own massive light. You stayed small to keep the toxic people around you completely comfortable. This is not an accusation against your character today. It is a loving diagnosis that will finally set you completely free. Heaven cannot pour millions of dollars into a vessel that fears wealth. If you secretly believe that money is inherently evil and corrupting, you will constantly repel it away from your life. And the enemy used bad theology to convince you that poverty equals absolute holiness in the eyes of God. That is the biggest lie ever preached from a modern pulpit. Abraham was incredibly wealthy and deeply loved by God. Solomon asked for pure wisdom and was rewarded with unsearchable riches. Wealth in the hands of a chosen one is a weapon of mass restoration. You must absolutely break your secret inner vow of poverty right now. You must stop apologizing for wanting a beautiful and abundant life. Your desire for wealth is actually a holy and divine mandate. You are being called to fund the massive kingdom harvest. You cannot do that while you are stressed about a grocery bill. The universe is begging you to step into your true royal authority. Lean in close right now, because what I am about to impart next is the ultimate cycle-breaking truth. The moment you release your fear, the biological shift truly begins. I will show you exactly how to rewire that damaged frequency. Coming up, I will expose the exact frequency the elite are using. I will reveal the CIA research that validates everything you have felt. But first, you must completely forgive yourself for being blindly tricked by the exhausting lies of the modern hustle culture. You did the absolute best you could with a suppressed biological receiver. Let that heavy guilt totally dissolve from your mind and spirit as you finally step out of the matrix of survival. But here is the part no one wants to say out loud, and I say this with nothing but pure love for you. The thing that has been blocking you is not just the enemy. It is that some quiet part of you has been terrified of your own power because you have seen how money corrupted the toxic people in your past. You watched greedy individuals use their wealth to manipulate and hurt you deeply. Because of that severe trauma, you subconsciously associated wealth with absolute evil. You secretly told yourself that staying poor meant staying pure. You thought that rejecting abundance would somehow keep your heart safe from corruption, and this is exactly why you sabotage your own success right before the finish line. You are terrified that getting rich will turn you into the very monsters you escaped. Please hear my voice very clearly right now. This is not an accusation against your character. It is the loving diagnosis that finally sets you free. You will never become like the narcissists who hurt you. Your heart is entirely different from theirs because you carry the frequency of heaven, and money will only magnify the deep goodness that already exists inside you. If you have $10, you buy a meal for a homeless person. But if heaven gives you $10 million, you will build entire shelters to feed the broken while protecting the innocent. Wealth is simply a tool that amplifies your core identity. The enemy tricked you into fearing the exact weapon you need to defeat him. You must release this heavy fear of success immediately. You are totally safe to receive massive abundance today. Take a deep breath and let that false humility completely dissolve. You do not have to apologize for wanting a beautiful house and a peaceful life. God wants you to overflow with extreme wealth so you can bless the nations. The spiritual block is officially broken off your mind right now, and this brings us directly to the biological solution I promised you earlier. Because fixing the spirit is only the first step. Before we go any further, I have to share a breakthrough that changes everything. It is something the elite billionaires have spent vast fortunes to keep totally hidden. A rogue neuroscientist named Dr. Thomas Summers recently leaked a shocking discovery to the world. He formerly worked on highly classified CIA experiments regarding human potential, and he found a very specific way to wake up that dormant wealth frequency. Dr. Summers and his brilliant team discovered how to rapidly reverse a shrunken hippocampus. And they did not do it through decades of exhausting meditation or relentless journaling. They did not require anyone to wake up at 4 in the morning to force a hustle mindset. Instead, they discovered something infinitely simpler and far more powerful than all those self-help tricks because they engineered a perfectly precise acoustic frequency. This specific sound frequency was heavily documented across 4 independent neuroscience studies. When you listen to this exact acoustic wave, it bypasses your conscious mind entirely. It directly stimulates that tiny region of your brain responsible for attracting wealth. Researchers on the prestigious campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing this exact brainwave activation right now, and they have confirmed it is absolutely real and scientifically verified. Once this specific frequency is heard, it forces your brain to stop broadcasting the survival wave. It immediately flips the switch on your natural biological ability to attract wealth and luck. And the most incredible part is that it requires absolutely zero hard work, because it is a completely effortless ritual that you can do from the comfort of your own home. You simply listen to the audio track for 7 minutes a day. That is the massive secret the 1% desperately wanted to keep from you. They know that if the middle class heals their biological receiver, the entire corrupt system shifts. The energetic shift begins the very first time you listen to this 7-minute sound wave. It gently retunes your brain back toward the exact state associated with extreme clarity and intuition, while restoring the profound knowing you have always carried inside. You do not need to learn any complex financial planning to make this work. You just press play and let the sound waves synchronize with your brain. I will tell you exactly what this powerful audio track is called before this message ends. I will show you how you can access this frequency for yourself in just a few minutes, because this is the answer to the question I asked you to hold earlier. But first, there is one final piece of the puzzle you must complete today. We have diagnosed the spiritual attack, and we have uncovered the biological solution. Now, you must physically step into your new royal identity to seal this transformation. You cannot walk into your wealthy future while holding onto the rags of your painful past, so you must firmly declare your absolute freedom to the universe. The cosmic courts of heaven are paying very close attention to you right now. The angels are waiting for you to use your voice and claim your inheritance. In the next section, we are going to do something incredibly powerful together. Prepare your heart for the ultimate shift that changes your destiny forever, because your season of hidden preparation is completely over and your time has finally come. And now comes the pivotal moment where absolutely everything shifts for you. The heavy season of endless preparation is officially complete today. You have survived the painful isolation and the brutal financial warfare, but surviving is no longer your primary assignment on this earth. You are stepping out of the dark wilderness and walking directly into your absolute abundance. The old identity of the struggling survivor is dissolving right now. You are standing in the sacred space between two completely different identities. Behind you is the exhausted person who constantly worried about every single bill, while ahead of you is the billionaire frequency that heaven is birthing inside your spirit. The massive transition is happening in this exact moment. You do not need anyone else to validate this massive shift. You do not need a single person to give you permission to succeed. Your ultimate breakthrough does not require the approval of those who abandoned you. It activates the very second you stop asking for it and finally take your rightful place, because heaven has already authorized your massive wealth. This is your absolute moment of total liberation. Not tomorrow or next week, or when you finally feel ready. The cosmic shift is happening right now as you listen to my voice, and the universe is waiting for you to make a physical decree. You must use your voice to completely break the old agreements of poverty. The spoken word carries massive biological and spiritual power. I promised you a powerful declaration at the very beginning of this message. This is the exact verdict that seals everything God just spoke over your life today. I want you to stop whatever you are doing right now. Close your eyes and take a very deep breath. Then place your right hand firmly over your beating heart so we can make this sacred decree together. Speak these words out loud with absolute authority. Declare with me right now, I completely release the heavy need to be needed by everyone else, and I release every single agreement I ever made with smallness and poverty. I step into my massive assignment, knowing my isolation was divine preparation. My financial drought was never a punishment, because it was always meant to be my ultimate qualification for the kingdom. I am not the misunderstood outcast anymore. I am the chosen cycle breaker of my entire family lineage. The wealth that belongs to me is not delayed or denied. My massive financial breakthrough is not just coming in the future. It is already here and already moving toward me right now. I fully accept the abundant resources required to fulfill my massive kingdom purpose. I completely forgive myself for fearing my own power. I embrace the extreme wealth that heaven prepared for me. I walk forward today, knowing I am chosen and completely prepared, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be in this divine timeline. The heavy survival wave is broken off my mind forever. My biological receiver is completely open, and ready to receive massive abundance. Feel the intense weight completely leaving your tired shoulders right now. The heavy spiritual chains of generational poverty just shattered on the floor. You are breathing in the pure air of absolute freedom for the first time in years, and the enemy has completely lost his grip on your finances and your future. You just reclaimed your stolen biological inheritance today. The massive burden of simply surviving is entirely gone. This is not just an emotional moment of temporary relief. This is a permanent recalibration of your entire existence. The universe just recorded your powerful declaration in the cosmic courts of heaven. The angels are already moving to arrange the massive financial windfalls you just authorized, while doors that were permanently sealed are quietly loosening on their hinges right now. Incredible opportunities that felt impossibly far away are rapidly moving toward you. You are no longer endlessly chasing your financial breakthrough through exhausting hustle. The breakthrough is actually finding its way to your front door today, because you just activated the powerful frequency that pulls the wealth directly to you. Your entire energy field is completely different now. But some messages do not just inform or inspire your spirit. They physically activate the dormant tools you need to hold the blessing permanently. If something stirred deep in your spirit just now, you are ready for this step. If you felt the absolute truth of what I just said land in a place words usually cannot reach, then you are absolutely ready for what comes next. Because knowing you carry this powerful frequency is only half of the equation. The other half is learning exactly how to keep it safe from the noisy world. You need the physical tool to maintain this massive spiritual shift, but what I am about to share is definitely not for everyone watching today. It is only for the chosen ones who already feel the truth of this message. If your spirit is still strongly vibrating right now, this was meant for you specifically. Heaven opened this massive door for you, and you just walked through it. Now you must firmly secure the door so it never closes again. And in the next few moments I will reveal the exact name of the biological tool that repairs your receiver. Your new reality officially starts here. The question I asked you to hold earlier is finally ready to be answered. What if your financial struggle is not a lack of hustle, but a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? Here is the absolute truth. The 1% share a massive biological secret. A microscopic wealth attraction frequency is naturally active in their minds. It is driven by a highly developed region of the brain called the hippocampus, classified C.I. Research completely confirmed this biological reality. 4 independent neuroscience labs verified it. Researchers on the campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing it right now. Dr. Thomas Summers is a rogue neuroscientist who formerly worked on these top-secret experiments. He flatly refused to let elite billionaires keep this biological cheat code hidden from the hard-working middle class. He and his brilliant team spent years compressing the clinical protocol for hippocampus growth into a simple audio track. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 people who used it. Emma is a former nurse from California. She felt her family was under a severe financial curse. She was totally exhausted and constantly drowning in massive debt. After just 3 days of listening, she broke the cycle completely. She quit her stressful job. She sold her house for way over the asking price. Now she travels the world on passive income, sharing this pure abundance with her children. Michael was a former policeman in Florida. He started using it to scale his struggling business. Within 5 days, he quadrupled his high-paying clients. He suddenly found himself networking with wealthy elites. They quickly put him on national television to promote his new life. He said the journey was almost effortlessly crazy. That is exactly because of what Dr. Summers and his researchers discovered. They call it the billionaire brainwave. It is definitely not a manifestation app. It is not a generic motivation tape. It is a highly engineered 7-minute binaural sound wave. It is designed to directly stimulate your hippocampus and pull it out of dormancy. That is the absolute entirety of the work required from you. You spend 7 minutes in the morning with headphones on and your eyes closed. You do not write in a journal. You do not repeat forced positive affirmations. You simply let the precise frequency rewire your brain to receive. The billionaire brainwave is not for everyone. It is only for the true visionary. It is for the chosen one who has already done the inner work. You already know that your lack of wealth is a blocked biological channel. Private neuroacoustic sessions to reverse a shrunken hippocampus cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. To access this exact frequency, elite billionaires invest massive fortunes every single year. But what Dr. Summers leaked to the public delivers the exact same neurological shift. It is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. You can access it right now for less than the cost of a few cups of coffee. And 4 powerful bonuses are included to support your new wealthy reality. You receive a guide to managing massive wealth called the Warren Buffett Pyramid. You also get a breakdown of 7 lazy millionaire habits. You receive an emergency, quick cash manifestation audio. It is absolutely perfect for sudden financial needs. And finally, you get an inspiring collection of 500 billionaire success stories. This keeps your mind anchored in pure abundance. Here is the deeper truth about waiting to activate your brain. The immense wealth you have been praying for is already circling you today. The blessing is not actually missing. Your receiver is simply broken. The chosen one who restores their frequency today finally sees the massive financial windfalls that were always waiting in their path. Delaying means letting your royal inheritance remain completely invisible. But you must be incredibly careful right now. Do not look for this specific frequency on platforms like YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have zero binaural entrainment technology encoded, so they are dangerous fakes meant to distract you from the truth. The only authentic and neurologically active version is available through the protected link. That link has been placed in the description and the pinned comment below. This comes with the billionaire's ironclad promise. The universe requires absolutely no financial risk from you today. If you do not experience a physical and undeniable increase in your wealth and luck, every penny is returned. It is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is wide open. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. The tool is not the final destination. It simply repairs your biological receiver so the wealth you visualize can finally materialize in your physical life. Abundance is your divine birthright, and the universe requires absolutely no transaction for you to deserve it. What the researchers built is just one powerful accelerator. Whether you choose that path or not, let us go deeper into preparing your mind for the massive opportunities ahead. If your intuition confirms that the frequency tool described earlier is the missing key to your abundance, the path remains open in the description below. That is the final time I will mention it. What follows now belongs entirely to the sealing of your new mindset. We are closing the massive spiritual door on your old life of extreme survival. You are completely safe now. Everything you endured over the last few years was definitely not wasted, because the deep pain and the exhausting financial struggles were actively preparing you. You thought the universe was punishing your family, but heaven was actually building an unbreakable resilience inside your beautiful spirit. You survived what absolutely should have broken you, and you did it with incredible grace. You are not the misunderstood outcast of your family anymore. You are the chosen cycle breaker who finally stopped the generational bleeding. The people who called you too sensitive simply could not understand your massive assignment. and they were completely blinded by their own earthly limitations. But heaven saw your quiet strength the entire time. You are fully recognized in the kingdom today. You do not need anyone else to validate your new wealthy reality. You absolutely do not need their permission to step into this massive abundance. The cosmic courts of heaven have already handed down the final verdict in your favor, and your royal inheritance was never dependent on their completely flawed opinions. You are answering to a much higher divine authority now. Release every single agreement you ever made with smallness and delay. The heavy lie that you are somehow too much is completely shattered today, and you must fiercely protect this new billionaire frequency from toxic and draining environments. Do not let angry or jealous people pull you back into their dark survival wave. You have elevated past their heavy spiritual gravity forever. The profound season of endless preparation is officially complete. You are not the exact same person who started watching this message, because the old version of you could not have survived the massive revelation you just received. Your absolute breakthrough is not just coming in the distant future. It is already here and already moving through your life right now. Tomorrow morning is going to feel completely different for you. When you wake up, that familiar heavy anxiety will not be sitting on your chest, and you will open your eyes and feel a profound sense of total peace. The heavy spiritual warfare over your finances is finally over. The angels are already rearranging the physical circumstances of your life while you gently rest. Think about the incredible kingdom impact you are about to make. With massive resources, you will effortlessly heal the broken people around you, and you will fund beautiful missions that permanently change the trajectory of your children. Wealth in your hands is a pure weapon of mass restoration. You will show the entire world what a wealthy chosen one truly looks like. You were selected for this exact mission because your heart is pure. The universe knew you would not let the millions completely corrupt your soul, so heaven allowed you to pass the severe spiritual test in the dark wilderness. Now you get to enjoy the beautiful sunlight of the promised land. You are stepping into a season of radical and effortless harvest today. Hold on to this pure frequency as you walk forward today. Do not let the loud noise of the world distract you from your new identity, because you are a powerful creator carrying the absolute authority of the divine kingdom. The days of endlessly begging for tiny miracles are totally over. You simply speak to the universe, and it immediately responds to your royal command. Imagine walking into a room and never having to calculate the cost of anything. Imagine paying off every single debt your parents ever owed with a single stroke, because this is the exact reality that is manifesting for you in the physical realm right now. The invisible chains of endless labor have been completely removed from your tired hands. You are totally free to simply exist and create. The suffocating atmosphere you felt earlier this week is completely gone, and the invisible force that constantly pushed back against your finances has finally surrendered. You finally understand the biological secret that kept you trapped in the dark for so long. Knowledge is power, but the applied frequency is absolute liberation. You possess the ultimate key to your own beautiful cage today. Rest tonight, knowing that your entire lineage has been permanently altered. The generational bleeding stopped the exact moment you accepted this profound truth, and you are now the wealthy anchor that your family has desperately prayed for over centuries. Breathe in the pure abundance of heaven and exhale the heavy trauma of your past. You are deeply loved, and you are finally going home.